Okay, thank you for that. All right, everybody. So once again, welcome to the class and the course for those of you who are joining us for the first time. My name is Karishma. You can call me Karishma. You can call me Carrie. No need to call me ma'am. I will be taking you through your English, VA, and RC lessons. You might have met some of the other teachers who will be teaching you DI, LR, and QA. And if you haven't, then you will in the coming weeks. So I hope everybody's well. I typically like to have the cameras on in my class. So those of you who are comfortable switching it on, it'd be great for me to look at your faces. Before we begin, we're going to do a quick test so that everybody's on the same page and we know the pace and the setup. So I can see that a lot of people are still joining and then joining back, and I think maybe that might be a connection problem. So those of you who have a stable connection and who are able to see me and hear me clearly can send me a thumbs up in the chat box. This will also show me that you know how to send me a thumbs up in the chat box. Go ahead. Okay, that's one. Keep going quickly. You go to the chat box. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, good. All right. Okay, looks like everybody is able to hear me and see me clearly, so that's great. Okay, the next thing we will do is do a quick check. So during the classes, I know that not a lot of people are comfortable switching on their mics, although that would be the ideal situation. At the bottom of your window, you will see a button called Reactions. All right, if you go ahead and click on the reactions, there is one button that says raise hand. If you want, you can go ahead and check it and see what it does. See what happens when you click on raise hand. All right, very good. So that, as you can see, very good. Yeah, so as you can see, this means that I will see your raise hand. And why do you think this might be necessary during the class? Who can tell us? Yes. When you don't want to interrupt somebody who's speaking, but you do have a doubt, you raise your hand, and the minute the person stops speaking, they will address you. Now, the next step is to press the same button to lower your hand. So go ahead and try that. Good. Okay, so when you raise hand or raise your hand and your doubt has been answered, go ahead and lower your hand as well so that I can see others as well. And then you also have some other reaction buttons. There's a clapping, there's thumbs up, there's a heart button, there's emojis and all of that. Of course, you are free to use as many as you like, but during the lessons, there are 2 or 3 that we typically use, namely the thumbs up, maybe sometimes the smile or the laughing emoji if somebody's being funny, or you can even use the wow emoji if something is surprising to you. So that's a little bit about how to use the Zoom. As we go along in the classes, I will also teach you a couple of other things like breakout rooms and stuff like that. But for today, I think this should be sufficient for us. All right. So we're going to get started with the main chunk of the class today. I will go ahead and share my screen first, and we will begin. Give me just a second so I can enter into presenter mode. All right. If my screen is not visible to anybody at any time, you know what to do. Raise your hand, right? And if it is visible, then that's fine. Okay. Um, so today we're here to talk about your CAT preparation journey that you have begun with Takshzila. And this is going to be a course that takes you through English as well as math and the other components of the test. And in the process, you will also learn a lot about the other tests that are happening in the same year with the same reasons. We will have a lot of time to get to know one another, and share information, share ideas, and share some personal details as well today, as well as as we go on. Before I begin, I will tell you a few things which are important for the class and for the course and for you to be successful. So first of all, this is a live class, and a live class can only work when there's interaction and participation. So I'm looking at a total of 30 people in this group, and that's great because it's 9 p.m. And I know that it's very late for everybody. It's definitely very late for me, but I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be talking to you. And the reason is that when I know that there are 30 people taking out the time to attend this class and, make a promise, make a commitment that you're going to study, I think that's all that a teacher needs. So, keeping that in mind, one thing that I would request you to do and very much suggest that you do very strongly is to be regular. Okay. By regular, I mean attending every class, being on time for every class, and being prepared for every class. Do you agree that that's important? If you do, then give me a quick thumbs up from the reaction button, not in the chat box. Let me see how quickly you do that. All right, Kevin and Rachit and Arshad and Ananya and Shivam, Yadi, Karthik, Varshini, Ria, Apur, Vineet, Anurag, Binushma, Khushi, Shri Mukund, Bhavya. Very good. All right, that was lovely. Okay, so I might not remember all of your names, but I will remember that there were 30 of us today here. And in the subsequent classes, if they aren't 30, then I know that some people were lying. Anyway, jokes apart, regularity is such a great foundation of live classes because it's such an easy thing to say, oh, I'm just going to eat and not attend class. Or it's really easy to say, oh, not today, I'll do it tomorrow. Or it's even easier to say, I'm just going to catch the recording. But if you know anything about online learning, you know that live classes are a different breed and nothing compares. So when you watch a recording, it's just going to be you passively watching while we would have had all the fun discussions, and you will not get to ask your questions in real time. So the choice is yours, but I would strongly suggest that you make a commitment. It's just a few classes, right? But do attend classes as much as possible. Trust me when I say that it's going to put you in a higher league of preparation. The second thing, like I was saying, was participation. Now, participation can happen in two or three forms. One is, of course, switching on your camera, switching on your mic whenever you want to talk, and just talking with your classmates, talking with your teacher. That's the best way to interact. And this has been proven because I've been teaching online for a while now, and I also have a certification in online teaching. And in both cases, I can guarantee that you yourself feel more like a part of an actual live group when you speak, as opposed to when you text or chat. Because texting and chatting is a passive activity, while speaking is an active activity. Okay, so be sure to keep your hand on that unmute button or on the space bar, and as much as possible, try and talk. Okay, it's going to be good. And the added advantage for us here is that it'll also prepare you to be, spontaneous and confident in speaking in English when your group discussions, personal interviews, and all those things begin, right? Because all of this is working towards that one goal, isn't it? That's where you want to go. So then, if you're nodding right now, yes, yes, it is, then you have to also make sure that you speak, that you talk. So do that. Wonderful. I see that there are numbers increasing. There are 32 people now. So welcome anybody who is joining us now. For the first few minutes that you've missed, I would recommend that you go and watch the recording so that you can catch up on a few things that I've been talking about so far. And the last thing about being prepared for classes is that with each class, I know that I will give you some tasks. Now, I don't want to call it homework because it sounds very childish and, school-like. These are instead going to be activities and tasks that you can do either right after class or right before class, or when you feel like, I want to study English, but I don't know what to do. So you can go back and look at the document for the class and do the work that's in there, right? This will make sure that not only do you have a series of preparatory topics, going in at the back of your mind, but also anything that you kind of maybe missed during the class, because you might have another tangent going on, or your connection was bad, or you didn't get a chance to revise or pay attention to. You do that while you look at the document. So the document that I'm talking about, barring today when we start our proper course classes, you will go to your portal and you will be able to download the PDF of every lesson that we cover. And that will contain all of the stuff that we see in class, as well as your home tasks. If you have any trouble downloading it, you can always get back to me on the Telegram group chat. Okay, so that was a little bit about what it takes to be a good student. But of course, there are so many other things that do. The last one thing, sorry, that I forgot is that this is a safe environment. We are inclusive, we are progressive, we are modern, we respect all beliefs, all identities, and we make sure that our classes are safe, they are respectful, and they are mutually understanding of one another. So we stay away from all sorts of problematic, issues. And if we do end up having a discussion about something sensitive, we always do it with respect and with acknowledgement that people are different, but everybody deserves the same standing. Okay, so with that, let's get started. So today we will try to cover the following things. We will look at an overview of the CAT and what it entails as a test, as well as what these two sections are about, the VA and the RC. We will look at sectional details and talk about starting your prep and how to continue going into prep. And then, of course, we'll have time to have some questions and answers. So now I'll give you a moment. I'll be silent here and let you read these dates. These are all important. They're tentative, but they are more likely correct than not. So have a look at it. You don't need to screenshot it. I will share this document with you after class, but have a look at it and just get an idea of the kind of timeline we're looking at. I'll give you a minute. All right. We are in March, 18th of March, and CAT is most likely going to be towards the beginning of November or somewhere in the middle of November. And that roughly gives us 7.5 to 8 months to prepare. What your timeline will look like individually, I leave that up to you. But what our timeline will look like is right here on the board. And I would very much recommend that you have it, somewhere visually so that you can keep reminding yourself of where you are. Are there any questions at this point? If not, then I will move on in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, before moving on with everything else, I would like you to then now have a chance to introduce yourselves. I will start. As I said, my name is Karishma. You can call me Carrie. You can call me Karishma. No need to call me ma'am. We are all adults here. I've been teaching for about 18 years now, and my academic background is I have a BA and an MA in English, and then I have an MPhil in also English and translation studies. Then I have a master's in film studies, and then I have half a PhD in film studies. And then I have a CELTA and a Delta in teaching English to adults. And I've been teaching at the University of Delhi, University of Barcelona. I did a term at London, did a bit of teaching in Dublin, but that was mostly to pay bills. My forte is teaching creative writing. And here I teach English and English-related topics. And in my free time, I work with community cats. I take care of cats as in the animal, not cat. But isn't that such a great coincidence? So if you ever have a question about cat care, you can also reach out to me. One of my hobbies, aside from reading and writing, of course, is building miniature dollhouses. So that's something that you can Google later and say, what the hell was she talking about? So that's a little bit about me. And since I'm not taking the cat, I cannot answer the question why I am sitting for cat. I can answer the question for why I'm sitting for a set of exams. I'm earning my master's in clinical psychology because that's going to be plan B. So I'm studying that. How about you guys? Tell me a little bit about you. Tell the class who you are very quickly. I'll give you a minute to prepare your answer. Tell us whatever you feel comfortable telling, and we'll get started in a minute. All right, I think that's enough time. So whoever's feeling brave can get started. Raise your hand and unmute yourselves, and please tell us who you are and what you're doing here. Yes, Sharanya.
Hi, my name is Shania Shetty. I'm born and brought up in Goa, and I'm currently in Bombay. I did my undergraduation in literature at Sapphires in Bombay, but I'm currently working as a creative producer in Geo Cinema.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah, that's about me.
Okay, thank you. Sharanya, am I saying it correctly?
Sharanya Shetty, yes.
Sharanya. Okay, thank you, Sharanya, for that and for starting us off. I think
Thank you.
next was before Harshita. Who was it before Harshita?
Yes.
Okay, yes, go ahead, Harshita.
Hi, everyone. This is Harshita. I am currently working in investigative HR. I have graduated from Miranda House from political science as my graduation. Currently looking forward to give my CAT exams and go to a good university.
Yes, aren't you all? Excellent. Good to have you, Harshita. And next is Arshad.
Hello, everybody. Arshad here, and I'm from Pune. So I've been a recruiter for a year for a sports and media house, and I'm about to leave the company and just prioritizing my studies or maybe finding another job. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, Arshad, all the best with all of that. I'm sure that it's a really brave decision to leave a company and move on, but I'm sure that you will do well. So, best of luck with that, and thank you for introducing yourself. Next is Apurv.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I'm Apoorv Malhotra. I did my graduation from VIT University in Electrical and Electronics Engineering. Currently, I'm working in the IT sector, and in my free time, I like to read or watch films and play chess. And that's pretty much what.
That's nice. So, for sure, we can look forward to getting some reading recommendations from you then.
Yeah,
Yeah, good.
it
Thanks,
happens.
Apurv.
Yeah.
All right, next is Manish.
Hello, hi everyone.
Hi.
I'm Manish Mishra from Nagpur. I have completed my graduation in BMS. I'm a doctor, Ayurvedic,
Wow.
and I have just completed it few months back. And right now I'm working for some insurance company, and
And
I'm
and,
looking forward for
and so,
CAT.
Manish, how does CAT fit into your plans then?
Carrie, I just want to do something different from my field. I don't want to be that
Right.
in that field. I
Okay.
want to do
Well,
something different.
you and I must have a longer chat afterwards. I am so interested in Ayurveda, and I'm really interested in picking your brain a little bit. And also, I love that you
Yeah,
call me Carrie. Thank you for that. Love it.
yeah,
Thank you, Manish. All the best with all of
yeah.
that. Yes. Next is Ria. Ria, if you're speaking, we're not able to hear you. So maybe look into that. And in the meantime, we can go to Sujal.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sujal Jain, and I'm from Delhi and preparing for CAT exam. And my interests are basically reading, playing some story games, playing chess, and watching sports, etc. I'm also a little bit interested in psychology.
Hey,
Currently,
that's cool.
also trying for psychology.
Okay, very good. So you and I can also have a chat. Okay,
Sure,
good
sure.
to know, Sujal. Thank you. Next is Kushi.
Oh, hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Hi everyone, my name is Kushi. I am from Madhya Pradesh and currently I'm pursuing my bachelor's in BCom. I'm in second year and looking forward to go for CAT examinations. That's all.
Okay. Simple and short. Good luck, Kushi. Thank you for that.
Thank
Next,
you.
we're looking at Lokesh.
So hi everyone, Lokesh here. I'm from Pune and I'm working in defense sector in Bharat Forge Limited as an research and development engineer. And
Wow.
I'm looking forward to have fun with you guys in this whole year.
All right. Awesome. Good to have you, Lokesh. So many interesting people from all over the place. This is amazing. We're definitely going to have fun. All right. Thanks, Lokesh. Isha.
Hi everyone, my name is Isha Agrawal. I am from Mumbai and I'm currently working in the fixed income and debentures space. Basically, I'm a credit analyst. I am working on the buy side and I work with the fund manager for his debt PMS. So we take management calls and meeting with the CXOs, and basically whether or not to make an investment, and then basically source them for HNIs and ultra HNIs. That is what the segment that we cater to. Cat fell into my plan because I wish to advance in my career, and currently I have about 6 to 8 months of work ex with about very diverse internships under my belt since I graduated in 2022. I've worked in a Singapore VC as an intern. I've also tried my hand at options and trading. So ideally, I'm looking to cement my career in private credit. So that is why I'm looking to do an MBA soon.
Very good. That's a really detailed plan. All the best for that, Isha.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Okay, Bhavya.
Hi everyone, my name is Pravya. I am from Andhra Pradesh. I have undergone, I have completed my undergraduate in B Pharmacy. I just want to choose a different career, so I'm studying CAP. That's
Mhm.
all about myself.
All right. We will definitely love to know more about you as we go on. Thank you, Bhavya. Next is Vibhu.
Hi everyone, my name is Vibhu Verma and I'm from Gurgaon. I'm pursuing my BCom honors degree from Delhi University, and apart from that, I'm a filmmaker and my hobbies is most of the time I'm watching movies and doing some creative stuff.
That's awesome. So, Vibhu,
Yeah.
have you made any films that you've already uploaded or
Yeah,
published?
I have a YouTube channel, but it is a group YouTube channel on which we have uploaded some short movies,
Mhm.
and I can send you some links to that. You can just
Yes, do
binge
share it
watch
in
them.
Telegram, please.
Yeah, sure. I'll drop a link. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. And next is Varshini.
Hi everyone, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, hi. So I'm Varshini and I graduated from BMSIT Bangalore and in electrical and electronics engineering. And I'm working for ANZ Bank as a cybersecurity engineer. And I want to pursue MBA and I want to write CAT this year because my forte is always business analytics and management side. So I want to get into that field, and it could be like a spurt in my career growth as well. So yeah, that's why I want to pursue CAT. So that's about me.
Very
Thank you.
good. That's like a straight line. I appreciate that. Thank you, Varshini. Okay, Ria. Yes. Are you ready? I think the audio is still not working. No worries, Ria. Why don't you take some time to figure that out? In the meantime, feel free to drop your intro in the chat. Sorry, your audio is not working today. Next up is Rachit.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Rachit and I've completed my undergrad in computer science engineering from BIT, and I'm currently working as a data analytics engineer.
Okay, cool. And why are you going for cat?
I feel, ma'am, my field is but aligned with the data analytics, this thing, the job which I'm doing currently.
Right.
So that's why I'm thinking to pursue, to land in a decent college.
Okay, good plan. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Chaitanya.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chaitanya, 21 years old. I'm from Noida, and I'm in my last semester of BTech from Thapar University. My hobbies are playing sports, especially cricket and tennis, and reading books. Thank
Hey,
you.
very good. What sort of books do you read, Chaitanya?
Mainly non-fictional ones, like self-help books, mainly.
Okay, wonderful. Well, whenever you come across a book that you really like, be sure to drop that with a short review, no spoilers, into the Telegram group so that other people can also be inspired from your reading.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. Do we have anybody else willing to give their intro today? I'll give you 5 to 7 seconds to decide. Yes, Shivam.
Yeah, hey guys, this is Shivam here. I'm from Lucknow. So I'm currently working at a startup named TikTok. It's a Bangalore-based company. Okay, and yeah, so this is my second attempt at CAT. So why I'm doing MBA, I'm not still sure about that. I'm finding that. Okay, but it's mainly I want to go into like core finance, say consulting or something. Okay, something like that. Yeah, and I like football, cycling, and yeah, reading books.
All right. Very good. Good to know. Thank you for sharing. Yadvi.
Hello everyone, my name is Yadvi and I'm from Delhi. I'm currently working at KPMG as an audit associate. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
cat is your next step in your work, right? Your
Yeah,
profession.
yeah, yeah.
Makes sense. All the best.
Thank
Okay, thank
you.
you. And then Ayush.
Hey, I am Ayush. I'm from Jamshedpur. I have a bachelor's degree in journalism. I've worked as a tech journalist for 2, 3 years and currently looking to break into radio copywriting space. I like trekking and films. Thank you.
Oh, that's wonderful. What an interesting and eclectic profile you already have. That's going to be a good addition to any B school, I'm sure, that you go to. And we share quite a few interests like journalism, copywriting, and trekking. Um, I got my mountaineering certificate not a few years ago, many years ago, a decade ago, in fact, from
Well,
NIM, Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. Do you know?
whoa, that absolutely I know about it. I mean, like that's a dream. I mean, like dream institute to be into.
Isn't it?
Yes,
It
yes, yes.
was one of the best things that I did, and I was 30 years old at the time, so it was quite a bit of a different thing. But I'd do it again in a heartbeat if I could. Yeah.
Well, I don't think I'm fit enough to do that. I've just done a bunch of treks, and
Hmm.
but I would love to go there and like experience that.
Yeah, I recommend that anybody who's even at 70% of their fitness should go and try it because it's just so worth it, you know? Yeah.
Right.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. And next up is Sai.
Hi, I'm Sai. I'm from Chennai. Right now, I'm in Bangalore working as a software engineer at NMAT.
All right. Very good, Sai. Thank you for that. All right. Maybe we can have one or two more people if anybody's ready. If not, that's okay. No pressure today. Yes, Sri Mukund. Oh, no audio again. So maybe check your audio once and get back to us. I see your mic is unmuted, but I can't hear you.
Hello.
Yes, Ria.
Yes, hi. I think my mic is finally working.
Hey, good. Okay. Yes, Ria.
Yeah, so hi, my name is Riya. I'm from Delhi and I did my undergraduation from Delhi University in mathematics honors. I'm currently working in Amazon as a seller support associate, which is a role in operations, and I'm pursuing a MBA because I want to pursue MBA because I want to advance in my career.
All right. That's very good. So interesting. A math honors. I don't think I've seen a math honors in a long time. So good to have you, Ria. Okay, I think yes, we've kind of run out of raised hands, but thank you so much, everybody, for sharing who you are, where you come from, where you're going, what you've done, what you like doing. I can also see that we are truly an eclectic bunch of people. There's so many people from across India, from Gurgaon, Delhi, and Bangalore, and Jamshedpur, and I'm sure that I'm forgetting like a bunch of cities. Sorry about that, but that only means that all of your experiences are going to be so valuable in creating a wonderful, lovely dialogue whenever we have a discussion, and we will have discussions. So get ready for that, and let's move on. So, first things first, what is CAT VARC? What does it include? I'll give you a minute to first read the text on the screen. All right. Now, this information is just for your knowledge, but you do want to remember how many questions in reading comprehension you will be dealing with and how many other types of questions, simply because soon you will start seeing your strengths and maybe weaknesses emerging in different sections, different types of questions. So at that time, it's always good to remember that there's so much of reading that you have to do, and there's so much of let's say verbal reasoning and other stuff you have to do, and where your strengths lie. Based on that, then you decide what time you want to give to each question. Okay, so for that reason and that reason alone, we try and keep this in mind. Now, in the past, let's say 7 years, 2017, 18 onwards, the pattern of CAT has been pretty much similar, very standard. You've got definitely 3 to 4 passages of reading comprehension with four to five questions each, with 4 to 5 options each. That does not change. Then we have a combination of the rest of the questions, and there's one more question type that's been added. So I'm gonna, oh no, it is there. So there's jumbled paragraphs. All of these questions are paragraph based. So the first is jumbled paragraphs, which simply means the sentences in a paragraph have been jumbled. I'm not going to bore you with the details. But then, based on a similar structure, there's also odd one out, in which in the jumble, you have to figure out which sentence does not fit any of the setting. So you first have to basically unscramble the paragraph and then figure out the one sentence that's not going anywhere. Then there's paragraph completion. There are two kinds of paragraph completion, either at the end of the paragraph or during in the middle somewhere. And then there's paragraph summary. So all of these are pretty self-explanatory, and you really just need to look at the title of the question type to understand what they are. But of course, we will have full classes dedicated to how to understand them, how to best solve them, and if there's any strategies that we can employ to make our attempts more skillful. In terms of what you want to prepare or how you prepare, there's sound foundations of the English language. Sound in this case does not mean auditory, it means strong. Yeah, it means stable and reliable foundations of the English language. And from having heard all of you just now talk, or at least most of you, I feel very confident that you already have very sound foundations of the language. So I'm not really worried. However, let me not assume anything. If at any point you feel that this is going a little bit faster than you anticipated, or that you're having trouble with a particular type of concept, question, anything, I want you to flag it up as soon as possible. Drop me a message, drop Massey a message, who's our other senior faculty, or just ask a question in the Telegram group. I'm mostly online 10 to 12 in the morning for your doubts, and you'll see my message pop up every morning. So don't feel that you only have to deal with the classes and there's no other way out. You can very well come to us and talk to us. Effective reading skills. Now, this is going to be probably the longest ongoing topic in our discussions, because reading means so many different things to so many people. Already from listening to what you were saying, I've understood that some of you are generally just readers. You read for leisure and pleasure, and that's great. But there might also be people who just don't read, and that's also okay. That's why you're here. You're already here. So now we will help you into becoming a reader. And when I say reader, I don't mean read fat books or read novels. That's not what I mean. I will talk more about what effective reading means in due time. But reading is required. Okay, attention to detail for arrangement sequences, and of course, clarity in grammar, syntax, and punctuation, because there is no more the possibility of you saying, well, it sounds correct to me. That doesn't work anymore, right? So you will have to identify and understand why is it that you're choosing one option over the other if both of them look the same. You can't say, well, the other one just sounds better to me, It's not going to fly. Okay, so anyway, but these are a few things that you want to keep in your toolkit. If there's any questions, I will count down to 5. Okay, moving on. Now, there are a few topics on this page. What I would like you to do is think about what each of them mean. And when you have 1 or 2 lines to explain it, I would like you to raise your hand and speak up. This is to everybody. Apurv.
So you want me to speak about each one of them or like
No,
only the
anyone. One.
anyone? So okay, I can speak about comprehension. Comprehension is like the basic ability to understand what is given in the text. So
Good.
you basically get the gist of it.
That's correct. Just understanding a text. Good. So I will only, thank you, Apur. I will only interrupt or add when there's something missing in the definition. If not, then whatever your classmate is saying, if it's correct, I will just give you a thumbs up and that'll be that. Who else wants to contribute? Yes, Sharanya.
Contextual word meaning. I think what it means is whether a particular word fits in the right context in a particular sentence or a paragraph.
Or paragraph. Good. I will add that it also means what a word can mean when it is fitted in a particular context and how it can be different in different contexts.
Got it.
So I'll give you an example. Think of the word stomach, right? Stomach. Stomach is an organ in our bodies. But do we ever use the word stomach in this literal context? I would say rarely, unless we have a tummy ache. We usually don't use the word stomach. You will never say things like, my stomach is empty. You will say, I'm hungry or hangry, as people like to say these days. But you will say stomach for not being able to digest a difficult piece of news. So you will say, I'm not able to stomach it. It's so shocking. That is contextual word meaning. Who else raised their hand just now? Oh, did I miss it? Yes, Arshad.
Yeah, hi. So grammatical accuracy would be something like the ability to use a grammar correctly and in a very precise manner in a sentence. It's for example tenses, verbs, etc., etc.
Good. I'm glad you mentioned tenses because that is definitely going to be a point of contact for us, point of focus for us, where your often used tense concepts will be obvious, but then there will be concepts like the past perfect continuous, past perfect, and present perfect continuous, where we will have some discussions to have. Okay, who's next? Take a chance. If there's something that you miss, I will, of course, fill it in. But if you're thinking anything about anything else, or if you want to make a question about it, now's the time. Does anybody have any definition for argument analysis? If you split this term, you'll understand what it means. Okay, Apurva again, go ahead.
So maybe it refers to like even in paragraph or any essay you read, maybe the author is making some arguments. So you have to get whether it is against something or in motion for something, or in some cases it can be both. So I think it refers to that ability. I'm not sure.
Sure, you've given us the right start. Thank you again. I will simply add to that aside from just thinking about strengthening, weakening, correct, incorrect, against, for, it's also just breaking apart the entire argument and thinking about many aspects of it, of which we will study in subsequent classes. But really, just analyzing an argument from every aspect possible is argument analysis. And we do that with critical reasoning, but also within passages when we are looking at authors' opinions. That's when we do the most argument analysis. Yeah. And quick decision making simply means, there will be points very soon that you will start getting stuck on two options. You will have been able to eliminate three or two other options, and then you'll come down to two, and you'll be either stuck, or you will, like I said earlier, go with things like, well, it sounds good to me, something like that. Or you'd be like, oh, it's, my gut told me, or this is a gut feeling, or whatever. So there, Instead of relying on all these abstract reasons, quick decision making means that you have the knowledge to eliminate the last option. And then you're saying, listen, I know why this is wrong. And I have a reason for it. And it's not just that because I feel like it. So that's quick decision making. Okay. Time for doubts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we're out. So coming to what it takes to become adept at reading, here are some ways that we learn how to read better. Again, I will give you a moment. I will not ask you to define them. I will walk you through them, but you can go ahead and look at them for a second. Right. So just to make sure that everybody out of the now 31 from 34, that's where 31 people are listening, I'm going to ask you a question and I want your quick answers in the chat box. So be ready. Reading from a wide range of topics and subjects. Okay. Do you think that this is possible or do you think that this is not possible? Yes or no? Go. Okay, that is a resounding yes. Very good. Well done. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's half the people. 16, 17, 18, 19. There's still 11 missing. So I'm wondering where they are. But with a large class, what I will not be able to do is see every single time who has responded and who has not. So it's completely up to you to stay engaged and stay active. But thank you to the people who have responded, 22 now. Thank you. Reading from a wide range of topics and subjects simply means not to limit yourself to newspaper reading. Many times when people say, I'm preparing for CAT or similar tests, they start with newspapers and then they end with newspapers. Okay, that's not a good idea because newspapers have a very, very limited way of writing, and that is reportage. Okay, reportage, I will write it in the chat box. For the people who are studying journalism, and filmmaking will already know what this means, but it simply means all sorts of writing which falls under report writing or reporting an event. And there's not a lot of range, there's not a lot of emotion, there's not even a lot of context building that's required in reportage because it's literally saying, hey, this is what happened and I'm telling you exactly how it happened. So newspapers, while they are good to start getting into reading, they're not your end point. They are your first point of contact with reading. Then comes essays and well-written blogs, not blogs by influencers, but like actual qualitative blogs. Then come journal articles. Then come short stories and maybe longer fiction. And then, of course, there comes nonfiction. And all times you are looking at reading from CAT passages, past year papers, and wherever you can find good, solid material, quality material. Okay, so you will see very soon, if you haven't already, that Massey, one of our senior teachers, he keeps sharing some really incredible, really engaging articles every single day. And that means those of you who are thinking, I want to read, but I don't know what to read. I don't know where to go. Well, you go to your Telegram groups and you download that and you read it. Quite literally, even if you start reading that, whatever Massey has posted the same day, you will already be building on the first point without even trying. You don't even have to go looking for places, right? But then if you still feel like this is not enough, I want to do more because I can do more, drop us a text on the Telegram group and you will be given suggestions. Okay? So that's one, learning how to read with a purpose. Now, what I mean here, and this is something that I'm specifically talking to people who love to read, but I'm also talking to everybody else, of course. Because as somebody who loves to read, I'm never not reading. I'm reading on my phone, I'm reading on my Kindle. I have like 3 books going on at any given point because, as a high functioning adult, I can't just have one story in my head. It has to have, well, there has to be a noise in my head. And then there's, articles in journals that I read. And then, of course, that I read my course books. I will say for a fact that aside from my psychology studies, I only read for leisure. I only read for pleasure. It's an escape for me. It's something that makes me, feel safe, feel stable, feel calm, a lot of good things. However, I'm not reading academically most of the times, right? So there is no purpose. The only purpose for which I read is that I love to read and it makes me feel good. But if I were to go and take a CAT exam tomorrow, I would not be qualified for the right kind of reading because there is no purpose to my reading, right? Or at least the purpose is very personal. So to come back to the point that I'm trying to make is that there are a lot of people amongst you, I'm sure, who already love to read. And while that's great, what we're going to do in this course is learn to read with a purpose. There is a particular skill to that. And the skills are skimming and scanning. And these are the next 2 topics. So just from the top, the topmost layer of these words, you understand the meaning. The skim is to go on the surface, and the scan is to go from top to bottom and try and understand some details. How to do it, when to do it, how much to do it is what I will teach you. But is this something that you find interesting? Give me a thumbs up if you do. A few people. Okay. All right, good. Yes, it is very interesting because it's going to be one of those things that you will only learn for this in this course, but it will become part of your skill set for all sorts of reading that you will come across, academic reading, when it's not so much for pleasure or leisure, and it's more for getting to a point, fulfilling a purpose. This is a really, really good skill, and you will end up using it all the time. I promise you, once you learn it. And it's also really enjoyable. Okay. And then scanning for information as well. Understanding the question stem. If you don't know what a question stem is, I'll quickly tell you it is the one sentence or question that tells you what you have to do. So for example, if you're looking for an inference, there will be the text, right? The original text. There will be the options. But what do you have to do? The question stem will tell you. The question stem will be from the following option, which inference would be the most valid based on what the author has said? This is your question stem. Now you might be thinking, yeah, obviously we're going to look at the question. Why is she telling us that? Because there are so many ways in which you can misread the question stem. And then you come back to the question and you realize, oh, that's what it was saying. I completely missed that. And also, lately, what CAT and similar tests have been doing is doing the double negative. So, like, which of the following options is the author least likely to agree with? Or all of the following options, stick with me, all of the following options is something that the author least likely agrees with, except. So now you're looking at the opposite of what the question is stating you, and then looking for the exceptions. Anyway, we will come to that. But understanding your question stem simply means paying attention to the question stem. And I'm telling you, this is going to be such an important thing very soon because it's not a simple task all the time. And then, well, as a following, if you understand question STEM, you also have to learn how to identify minor differences within the options. I've told you this before, so I will not explain again. Simply speaking, it's just, a couple of things that change here and there, but they make the world of difference, because that's the difference between why not B and why C. Any questions? Okay. So now I will open the floor to you for about 5 to 6 minutes, and either in the chat box or by unmuting yourselves, you discuss what your reading habits are. Now, this is going to be more of a free speaking activity, so don't raise your hand, just unmute yourselves. And if somebody overlaps, that's okay. One person can be quiet, let the other person finish. I want this to become like a physical classroom, so you feel like you're all here together. So don't wait for me to say thumbs up or go ahead and whatever. Just 5-6 minutes for you to discuss your reading habits, either on chat or in voice. And I will be quiet and listening.
Okay, hi. I'm not much of a reader, but since I'm into journalism and I write, so I read tech blogs, mostly those. Besides that, since I appeared for CAT last year, I started reading the essays and all. So yeah, and most of those are boring. So I would love to read something that's much more interesting. CAT passages are pretty boring, and the questions that you mentioned, the inference and the double inferences, they're making it much more tougher. And I literally hate them.
No, don't say hate. Just say that you still haven't made friends with them. Hate is a strong word.
I have been actually I'm a fan of reading since I was a child, so I sometimes used to sneak in books and start to read at that time. And I'm looking through cat. I can explore more genres to read and more different kind of topics, because I'm mainly a fan of both fiction and non-fiction. But since newspapers are something I've started recently this year, so that's a different for me, and I hope to explore more.
I think, unlike Ria, I've always run away from libraries and getting books back home. Although I'm a literature student, I always enjoyed having the visual element that came with literature more than the reading. But I think I need to get back to reading now.
So yeah, I'm not much of a reader. I've never liked reading, but the only reading I do is reading up sports articles. That's what I'm fond of. And yeah, I've given CAT myself last year, and yeah, it's a huge task to find what is the strong argument, what is a weak argument, and finding the inference of the author and everything. So hopefully this year I'll get through it.
Hey, I usually don't like to read, but if someone suggests me some fictional books, I will like to read it. But and yeah, one more thing I would like to tell: cats topic are not that bad. I have read few, and they give good information to us. So it's interesting in a way if we understand it.
I would say that's a very healthy way of looking at it, Manish, because the minute we think that, oh, I have to read this and, it's so boring and who cares and why do we have to do this? We are already setting ourselves up for a failure. But when we say, you know what, it's a test and it's going to tell us something, it's going to teach us something interesting, our mind immediately opens up because we've given it positive feedback. That's a great way of looking at it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. So being a student of political science, I've been already always interested in current affairs and very vivid topics. So most of the times I've seen in CAT paragraphs, they're usually talking about theories of political science, for example, utilitarianism, feminism, or how technology has impacted the human daily life. So all these different perspectives in adds up to whatever knowledge that I am having. And apart from that, earlier I used to do a lot of reading, but since I started working, it has come down. So I've started to read some newspapers wherever analysis is given, not the reporting part, ma'am. So yeah, this much.
Good, good. I think it's such a challenge to lose your reading habit and then to build it back up, but it's also something that's very possible. So stick with it. Okay, we have time for one more if somebody wants to really share.
I can do. Hi
Yes.
everyone. So I'm fond of reading, and I mostly read fictional works. So mostly works from Japanese literature or Russian literature. They intrigue me very much, and
Sorry, I lost that a little bit. What did you say the last time?
I'm into literary fiction or regarding what? I
Um,
was telling about the genres that I'm into. So
hmm,
literary fiction, I,
hmm.
I mentioned literary fiction and psychological thrillers and mystery, Bildungsroman. I think that's pretty much it.
That's really good. That's a very good word that you use, Bildungsroman. And what is it that you read most recently? Any title
The
that you would like to
last book I read was The Picture of Dorian Gray, actually. I read it last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's a
So actually
classic.
wanted to read it since a long time.
Hmm.
Before that, I read Place Bewitched by Nikolai Gogol. Like he's a
Wow, Google.
Russian writer.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Gogol I got from this. There is one more novel. I forgot the name actually by Jhumpa Lahiri, I guess. So yeah, the namesake.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it was
Hmm.
mentioned in that. So that's why I wanted to read it. So
That's
that's pretty much
wonderful.
it.
This is going to take you so far in cat reading because you are already reading from a variety of cultural contexts, and there is a lot of cultural context that cat also gives you aside from other topics. So that's going to put you in very good stead. Yes,
But I
Asha.
think my non.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
okay, a second.
Go
No,
on.
no.
No, no, go
Yeah, I
on.
was just saying that my non-fiction reading is very limited. Like I don't read much of non-fiction pieces. I think
That's
I'm a,
okay. You will get into the habit of that as well.
yeah.
Yeah. As long as you're not close to it,
Yeah,
it's
no, no.
fine.
I
Yeah.
enjoy.
Good, good. We will do a lot of reading in class as well. So, half of your habits will become cemented here itself. Hmm. Arshad,
Yeah, ma'am, since we are talking about every candidate here, like I just wanted to ask you, like, what kind of genre do you read and what do you prefer reading?
it's a good question. I love reading women's fiction. That's my favorite genre. After that, I love horror. That's my favorite general genre. I love watching horror and reading horror. I like sometimes I like poetry. I'm a big fan of dystopian fiction, especially in short stories. So there's a couple of writers that I follow, like Christopher Fowler, and Ray Bradbury, things like that. Yeah, I actually read a bunch of everything. Really, I'm not really opposed to it. I also read a bunch of nonfiction because favorite that's an unfair question. If you are talking to a horror fan and you ask them their favorite horror movie, okay, top three. Jeez, yeah. Um, damn it. Okay, 28 days later. You do. All right, type yours. Mine is 28 days later. That's definitely one of them. 30 Days of Night. Obscure. People haven't watched it enough. Incantation. That's a good one. Yeah. And then the original Exorcist director's cut. But these are definitely not final. Don't quote me on this. These are just really, really good movies. Okay. Anyway, back to you guys. Thank you for asking me. Okay. Oh, we're moving on. Sorry. Pranjal also says, I got into Pranjal Pandey. Hey, are you one of my older students from British Council? Do you know me from before, Pranjal Pandey? No? Okay. Damn it. I had another Pranjal Pandey like 4 years ago at British Council. Okay. I got into reading sci-fi fiction during COVID, currently develop readings in memoirs, very good, and reading essays for CAT prep. So you are just all-rounder, excellent. You've not heard of the first, okay. Yeah, sure, do that. And you can always ask me for recommendations or my interests, because like I said, I'm online 10 to 12 every day for questions, comments, and just general chat, because there's nothing better than creating an interest in something, reading, writing, watching, whatever, than talking about it, having an actual dialogue, right? That's what gets you going, because then it's at the back of your head and you're thinking, oh, we talked about this, maybe I'll just check it out. So nothing better than that. All right. Okay. Just the last bit is I will tell you about what there is to come, what you can expect, just so our expectations are set, and also a hint to you to attend all of the classes, all of them, because this is what we're going to do. First, what is to come, and then what you can do parallel. The first one, building effective reading habits. We've been talking about this so far. And what you do is ask yourself the hard questions about your reading habits. So I already asked you one, but you have to ask yourself questions like, do I like to read? If not, can I read? If yes, how can I read? What can I read? Hard questions. Because everybody who joins, such a course will be like, no, of course, now I'm going to become a reader. But that's not how human brains work. Yeah, you have to train your brain to like things. It is possible, but you first have to commit to it. So asking yourself hard questions and giving realistic answers like, listen, I don't like to read, but I have to do it. So now what's my next topic? Yeah, something like that. Sustaining reading habits. Sustaining means it shouldn't be that today you had class, you feel very motivated, you read 10 essays, and then you never looked at a book again. Okay, that's not sustaining. But so if you're honest about your current commitment, you can actually create a plan which gives you sustainability. For example, if you're saying that a lot of you told me that you're working, yeah, some of you said you're not working. So that means your days are going to look completely different. So people who are working, don't fill your days with reading when you already know that your work is challenging, and work is challenging. Not for me because I work 3 hours a day, 4 days a week, but for people who are working more than that, it is definitely challenging. So instead of saying, I'm going to read 1 hour every day, I'm going to read when I'm going to office, I'm going to read when I'm coming back from office, don't do any of that. Instead, find 2 or 3 easier days and then only read on those days. Give yourself the weekends to relax, to regroup, to feel better, and not to constantly feel like karna, because that's not going to get you anywhere. So realistic things, sustainable reading habits by honoring your current commitment. Okay. If you want to talk more about how to create better commitments, please feel free to chat with me. I will also have a workshop on how to create proper plans. But today I will just tell you this much. Identifying your strength areas. So this is what we did in the previous round where I asked you what your reading habits are. A lot of you who said, I'm already reading nonfiction or I'm already reading fiction, those are your strength areas. And that means the areas where you haven't, maybe experimented too much will be your areas where you act or where you work on. So getting started on building a reading circle will help. And that means, you see, now we have 30 people. So I think people are just dropping off. I don't know, maybe because they're getting sleepy or something. But if you have a circle, let's say, a lot of people who said they're from Pune or they're from Bombay or they're from Bangalore, or even just, you liked what somebody said and you can ping them on DM and say, hey, I liked what you said. and I was interested in what you were talking about in your books. So can you tell me a little bit about what to read? Or even in your regular Telegram group, you ask yourself, hey, I'm thinking of doing an online reading circle for a 30-minute period. Who is with me? And then you share the same essay or article or something, and you sit and read online together, right? That means identifying your strength areas and understanding your limitations will both come into play. Lastly, creating continuous learning patterns. So again, the reading circle shouldn't be once a month and never again. It should be a regular thing. Commit to Fridays, commit to Mondays, whatever it is, but do it every time, do it regularly. And of course, initiating a plan to include realistic reading. And that means not waiting for other people to take the initiative and say, hey, I saw a lot of people wanting to read, but nobody's taking initiative. I'm going to say it. So I'm putting up a message in the group saying, I need 4 or 5 people. Let's get together. Let's find 30 minutes and read. Right. The good thing is we're all on IST, Indian Standard Time. So we don't really have to, think about matching, timelines to time zones and whatever. So that's a great benefit already, right? So you have to make use of it. If some of you have time at 8:30 p.m. or 7 a.m. or whatever, get together and get this going. And that's the only way that you will be able to honor this system, right? So yeah, that's a little bit about what we are going to do in the coming lessons. Question time. Okay. Yes, Chaitanya. If you're talking, I can't hear you. Chaitanya, you raised your hand. Okay, ideal reading habit for CAT aspirant. Oh, that's well, that's exactly what we're talking about. Ideal reading habit means consistent, regular, and varied. I will write it in the chat box so you can write it somewhere. Consistent, regular, varied. Okay, be consistent, keep reading, don't give up, don't stop, don't take long breaks because your habit will break. Regular means doing it frequently and not, once in 2 weeks or so. And varied, reading from all sorts of sources, not just one source, not newspapers only, not magazines only, not books only, everything, 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 everything. Read. That's an ideal reading habit. Okay. All right, last but not least, a word on preparation and self-study. So here I'll again be quiet for a minute and let you read this. All right. So here, the last thing we will do together for today is pick up any of these topics and either talk about it or ask me if you want me to explain, because these are not things that I need to explain to you. These are all pretty simple things to understand, but they are things that you will need to follow and follow regularly, consistently. So this is just, let's just take, we have about 10 to 12 minutes. You can use this as a time for questions, time for understanding what we've talked about today, time for discussing with each other. It doesn't always have to be with me. I'm happy to be a silent observer and a moderator while you guys exchange ideas. So pick up a point and talk about it, or ask me if you have any questions. Yes, Chaitanya. I think Chaitanya might, yes, Ria.
Actually, I had a doubt. So when you say the text we are reading or whatever we are reading, it should be qualitative. So how do I determine it? Like basically, how do I differentiate whether I'm finding a text qualitative based on if I just like the topic or I'm interested in the topic, and how does it differ that is actually going to help me in my prep?
I think that's a really good question. I'm glad you got us started. What I'm going to do is have everybody else kind of give you an answer, because look who has just woken up is this dingus, and she wants dinner because it's dinner time. So I'm going to give you like 30 seconds for other people to tell me what it is to read qualitatively while I go and feed her in a very quick, rapid round, and then I'll be right back. Is that okay with everybody? Well, I have no choice. All right. So I have 30 seconds. Go. Talk about it. And I'm listening. Wow, nobody said anything. Okay. So Ria, qualitative degree simply means that if I take the example of reading, newspapers, like I said, newspapers are simple English. They're meant to be accessible for everybody. And that's why they cannot use a very high degree of English unless we're talking about op-eds, the opinion pieces, editorials. So if you stick to only newspaper readings, even if you're reading 9 newspapers a day, your reading skill is going to remain the same. It'll be stable. However, if you graduate from regular articles to op-eds, and then from there you graduate to articles like Aeon, very good quality articles, and then you graduate to journal essays, that's when you are raising your qualitative degrees. And not to be that person, but in recent years in fiction, we've seen a lot of really low grade garbage become published and become popular with people. I'm sure you know the writers I'm referring to. I don't need to name any names, but picking up those 120-page books, which are just the most basic, obvious, brainless plots written in really bad English. But then because people think that, oh, they've read a book, so now they're readers, what it does is it gives you a false sense of reading when all you've done is read somebody's text-like language. So that's not reading. And that's definitely not cat-like reading. So qualitative degree means you have to pay attention to the quality of the material, the literature that you're reading. If you're ever unsure about what it is, you can always come back and ask us or your classmates about how good or bad a source of material is. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thanks.
Khushi.
Can you tell me what's an error log?
Oh, yes. Another good question. Error log. Error log is an Excel file or any other table-like file that you can make in your computer, laptops, and write down verbal, and then write down quant, and write down DILR. Then write down all the subtopics. Like in verbal, you can write RC, you can write VA, you can write VR, you can write syllogisms, CR. And then you can even break it down under inference questions, assumption questions, sentence correction questions. And then every time you solve a question set, you write down how many you got correct, how many you got incorrect, and type under which type you got most correct, which type you got most incorrect. Over time, if you see that most of the times your inference questions are wrong, that means that is something that you need to study. So that will become your error log. Even if you say, if you take, let's say, 3 mock tests, you can make an error log worth hundreds of questions, because each test will have multiple questions. So that will show you over time where you are doing well and where you are having trouble. Harshita?
Okay, thanks.
I just wanted to ask, I mean, what does diversify your learning techniques would mean?
Good question again. Actually, all of these are good points, so I don't know why. Yeah, diversifying learning techniques means not always thinking that reading means books. Yeah, not always thinking that GK means newspapers. Not always thinking that vocabulary means word power made easy. These are such old-fashioned, and outdated concepts of learning. We are learning all the time. Our minds are more stimulated now than they've ever been. In fact, today you have videos and podcasts and books being written on how to be bored and the value of being bored. So I think there is no dearth of stimulation. So what we want to do is channelize our attention, channelize our everyday attention into something that we can learn from. So I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody tells you, oh, they were listening to a podcast about this and that. Now, you might not have an interest in reading, in listening to that podcast, but you might be interested in that topic. So what do you do after that? You go and Google it, and 99% of the time, if it's a good quality podcast, you can just go to their podcast page from Apple iTunes or iHeartRadio or Stitcher Media, wherever that podcast has been published, or even Spotify, and look at the bibliography, the references, and you can find essays that you can read from that podcast. So problem solved. You didn't have to listen to the podcast, but you still ended up reading about something interesting. So this can be applied to absolutely all kinds of learning today, that you don't just need to learn the way that you've been taught to learn for all these years. Learning can happen all the time, every day. I'm glad to know that. Ayush.
Hey, I'm curious if the content that is being shared on the Telegram group is enough to like ace cat, or what should be my daily reading habit?
So yes, like I mentioned, it's a great way to get started, at least. Get started there. But there is
Right,
definitely addition to be made.
right. I do read that stuff, and if say I want to add up to that, what should I read? Or if you could give us some articles daily on top of
Yeah.
that, that would help.
Yes, so the articles are being shared daily to Telegram. And aside from that, I'm going to share a couple of videos where Massey did a great list of books you can start reading, short books, not very big books. So you can also pick up those. I hope that answers your question. Okay. We have a question here. Is it necessary to build vocabulary from word power? Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, Aman, that word power made easy is such an old-fashioned thing. And I personally, okay, you can disagree, but I personally don't think that language is such an artificial input. Like you don't just read a list of words and then you immediately have that list of words. That's not how it works. Instead, like today we're having a class and I might have used a word or two, and you might have thought, oh, I've read this word, but I never knew how to use it till today. So then you will have the contextual usage of that word, and you will be more likely to not just recognize it the next time, but also use it yourself. So aside, I mean, instead of word power made easy, I would say more active engagement with vocabulary is something that you want to do. For daily articles is it's not more than enough. Daily articles is a great way to start reading. And then you build on that. You build on that by reading longer articles. You build on that by reading more articles per day, things like that. In fact, I'll tell you something, even today, at my age, with having been taught, having been teaching for almost 20 years and studying for God knows how many years, I've lost track. I still find words that I don't know, but of course I'm going to find words that I don't know because I don't know all of English. And then I write them, and then I think about where I read them and where I heard them and why I liked them, and then I try to use them wherever possible. And sometimes they become part of my vocabulary, and sometimes they don't. But at least then I have an engagement, I have a memory with those words. So you have to do that as well. All right. So we've come to, you're welcome. We've come to the end of today's association. Here is a list of all the social media where we are. We are on IG, we're on FB, we're on YouTube. We're also Takshzila.com, where you can find regular blogs. That's another way to read regularly. If you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you will see regular links posted to the blogs, which are updated twice a month. And then there's, of course, Telegram, where you can talk about it. You can find reading materials and so much more. Okay, so we have now 28 people. We started at 34. I think some people just fell off the wagon, but that's all right. I want to welcome you once again to the course. We're going to have a lot of fun. I also want to thank you for participating, for talking with me, for listening to me, for raising hands, for giving me thumbs up, for chatting, and for being interactive. This is the only way that we're going to have a good experience, guys. So please, once again, I will remind you, be regular, be punctual, and there is nothing better than you can do than attend classes. Yeah, because that's why we are here. Okay, so Rachit, we are out of time. So I will take this consistency. Yeah, this is also a very long-term question. We're not going to talk about VARC section score today. We will take it up as we go on in the course, but we will put a pin in this for tonight. Okay, so I'm going to say good evening to you here. It was lovely to meet you and get to know you a little bit. I hope you had a good-ish class, and I will see you very soon. That's it for me.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Pratham. Good night. Thanks, guys.